Hi, so here I am again in continuation of that post which I had on selling starts when the customer says no. I got a lot of feedback that the content was right, but the audio quality was not enough. So I'm doing it again with a little bit of more information and this time concise. So what I'm trying to do here is to give you two perspectives. One is the buyer's perspective and the other one is the seller's perspective. Now, the reason I'm doing it is because I see a lot of times there is friction between buyers and sellers, and that is because there's a lack of a process of handling this no. Now, considering that there are varied type of solutions in the market, there are different levels of salespeople in the market. I'm creating this content in a very generalistic way so that it could be for benefit of most of you. Having said this, my idea would be to start first with the buyer's perspective, and then I'll get into seller's perspective, and I'll probably cover more of that because there's a lot for them to learn. So it'll be first sharing this idea of selling starts when the customer says no, the two perspective, how do we utilize this no in the sales process? Should we be happy from both sides? When and why does customers or prospects say no? How to deal with it and handle it so that you can avoid this no and have benefits for both sides. As I said, I would want both of them to take advantage of this process. Now, coming from the buyer's perspective, we have bought stuff for which we originally said no. I'll give example. When the idea is of buying an expensive mobile, the original idea is no, but guess what you're holding in your hand? You moved from that no to a yes. Whether it was your mobile, the shirt which you wear, the car which you drive, even the internet at home is faster, the car is stronger or faster, so on and so forth. But these are those products where we originally thought no, but we then bought it. It is my humble request that please keep exploring. And in my judgment, the answer to whether you need a product or not is generally with the salesperson. And hence, I would want you to keep exploring the value for you in this process. And till the time you are sure that the salesperson you're interacting with is not talking of your benefits, do not say no. During the process, you can always say no, which will be an exploratory no. Now, why has this changed from a no to yes? Because of changes in times, changes in needs, relevance. Relevance is very important in this case. Exposure to the product, and yes, persuasion by the salesperson, or even the value which was offered, because it is ultimately then when you decide to buy. Now I'll move towards the sales perspective or the perspective from a seller's point of view. Should you be happy when you hear this? No? I think yes, because there is a progress. You were able to make a pitch. You expressed your idea. Your customer is trying to understand what you're offering them, and they're trying to decide whether to buy or not to buy, or why to buy, why not to buy. Importantly, it gives you an opportunity to understand. You can do objection handling. You would like to know whether there is a misconception about what you're offering, or maybe they have had a previous bad experience, or even a price, but you're getting this opportunity. Now, most of the time, salespeople make this mistake of understanding or assessing this in the sales process, where they are, and hence they ask the question at the wrong time. And I would want you to first explore before you ask the customer whether this is something which you want to buy or not. Now, if I put these scenarios together and you try to find the answers of these scenarios, it'll help both buyers and sellers. in moving forward. First is the issue with time. These days, people are pressed on time. They may not have time to listen to you. Or maybe they know it's the right idea, but that's not the right time. Or maybe they're not ready to buy yet. Or maybe they're not ready with this requirement yet. Lack of realization. Now, this is something which is very common actually because the buyer is not aware that they have an issue at hand because they have been doing the same thing for a long time. Maybe they are unaware of changes in the policy. Maybe they are unaware of the security requirements and so on and so forth. Another one, and that's very common as well. Oh, I have it, meaning I have the product which you're selling. However, it might be similar and looking like it is taking care of the problem, but may not be taking care of the problem. So you have to understand that and give that perspective. Information. For you to set that perspective, for you to set that expectation, the information has to be provided. Many times customers don't buy because they don't think it is clear in their mind or it is enough what they want to know before they can take this discussion forward. Provide a concise, complete, and clear information. Be honest, be correct, and help them correct their checklist one by one so they're sure that they're moving with the right person in the right direction. Relevance. You have to establish the relevance of the offering which you have with the issue which they are handling, or how will it actually conclusively address that problem. A classical example, and I picked it from him, is that these two people are trying to solve the problem of crossing the river, but them with the tunnel, with a bridge, and these with a tunnel. And they're blaming each other. Guess who's right or who's not? Doesn't matter. Assurance. Many times the customers are just thinking, am I sure to go ahead? They need assurance. See, sometimes want to know, will this be right? Will it address the issue? How much issue can be addressed? Is this the right expectation from the products and so on and so forth? Another one, inertia. Now, this is such a common thing. They just feel, ah, should we go ahead or not? Because not everybody is willing for a change. However, you have to tell them that the move will be for better and hence ask them to change from where they are. Confidence. Sometimes they're not very confident that they have enough information or they can believe what they see. You have to work on that so that they have enough confidence to take this forward. My favorite one, credibility. Now, credibility of a salesperson or an organization, in my view, is very, in some cases, most important. They want to be sure that they are dealing with the right people with the right company. Make sure that you express yourself responsibly, be flexible, try to understand, be a partner, and establish that credibility. Then, ability to decide. Sometimes they may just be struggling to decide. Sometimes they may not be the person who's taking a decision alone. There'll be a team of people who can take that decision. Have you worked with all of them? Many times they don't even have the power to decide. There's somebody else who's deciding that. Have you worked with them? Also, there might be a sales process which you have to follow before they can decide. Work with that process. And now, at the end, I have brought the cost. The reason I have brought cost at the end is because I think that's where it stands. Why high cost? Why high price? It's never a question. It is a question of the value which I see for this product and the cost which you're asking is way too much. Many times you have to work on the concept of total cost of ownership. For solving or addressing the same problem, the customer might be spending money in several places and they don't know. You have to tell them that this is the total cost of ownership with my offering versus on how you're doing it now. And then establish that you have more benefits than the cost. and then you can move forward from there. In my view, everything which we have discussed boils around value. If you are able to show the value with the help of clarity, information, credibility, connectivity, or relevance with the problem which they have, you have a big deal. Otherwise, we will always be struggling with this kind of a no and will keep complaining. This was a very brief of what I thought will be helpful for all of you guys. If you think you want to understand more of this or would want to have a meeting, I can arrange an online meeting and we all can come and discuss and share our wisdom with each other. At the end, focus on the value creation. Looking forward. See you again soon.